Hello Divi Nation and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to download and install our free blog post template for Divi's Meal Kit Layout Pack. This is the final result we're aiming to achieve, so without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to head over to this blog post, which I'll link to in the show notes below. What we need to do here is to download this template and install it on our website. So I'm just going to scroll down and click on get it for free today. We need to enter our email address, click on download, and then download the files. So you can see here my files have been downloaded on the bottom left screen. So what we need to do is to unzip this. So I'm going to click here and show in Finder. So my file here is on the desktop and here it is. So we need to unzip this file by double clicking on it. And now we can see we have this single file, which is named with an extension called .json. All right, so I'm just going to drag this over to my other screen, and then I'm going to now go onto my website. But before I do that, let me just show you what our blog post looks like before we add this template. So this is what the blog post looks like. This is the title, and then this is the metadata. And this is the basic layout. So as you can see, this is not stylized. This is out of the box in Divi without any templates installed. So what we need to do now is to make this template here look much better. And the beauty of this is every time we add new blog posts on our website, all the posts will follow the same layout. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to come over here to our site. Now my site is already running Divi. So I'm going to scroll all the way down here to Divi. Click on Theme Builder, and as you can see here in my template, nothing is going on. So it's time now to install my template. So I'm going to click on Portability, click on Import, and now remember that file that we unzipped, which is right here, and mine is on the desktop. So yours may be in the Downloads folder. I'm just going to drag and drop it here like that. Now the other way of importing this template is by just clicking anywhere here and manually finding it on your folders. Okay, so I'm going to click now on Import Divi Theme Builder Templates. And there we go. So I have my template here. I'm now going to hit Save Changes. So when I come back now to my template here, if I refresh this, notice what happens. Now it's completely changed. I have this beautiful background here fading down, and now I have my content. And when I scroll further down here, we also have this newsletter section, which also looks beautiful. We also have related posts here, and all this is beautifully stylized. And when I go further down here, it gives more information about the author. So as you can see, this is beautifully laid out. And over here, finally, we have our comments, and our comments area as well has been stylized. Our button here has changed, and this looks really, really nice. So what I'm going to do now is to go in and show you how we can customize this, change the colors, change the fonts, in case you may have fonts that need to match with the rest of your website. All right, so to customize this, we need to come back over here and go into our theme builder. We want to click here on this pencil icon because this is where all the customizations were done in the body of this template. So I'm going to click here on this pencil icon. So first things first, we can see here we have this image in the background. So I'm going to come over here, click on Section Settings, and then go to the background. So here quite a few things are happening. The gradient that we have here, in fact, let me show you the gradient. So you can see here we have an image, and then it's fading down here to the bottom. So how we've managed to achieve that is by adding our gradient here in the Gradient tab, and this is the color that was used. So you can change this color to whatever color you want. So you can see when I change that, the color has changed here. So I can make it even darker. So you can just match the color with colors on your site. So in my case, this is my color palette, and you can see here that this is blending in beautifully. So that's where you need to change that. And then over here, you don't need really to change this featured image because this is dynamically chosen. So this will always add an image in the background here. But if you don't want to add an image here, you can just go ahead and delete it. So your template now will not have an image in the background. All right, so I'm just going to close out of here. Now let's move on to the next part, and that is this black background. So I'm going to click here on row settings, go to our background, and this is our color. So let's say in your case, you have a totally different color palette and you want to use your own colors. You can just start selecting your colors over here and you can see that the color has changed. So this is how you can change your colors on your site. So that is really, really cool. So that's how you customize it. So I'm going to close out of here. Next, I'm going to come over here to the categories. So I'm going to click on module settings, and here you can, this here is dynamically selected, but I am going to change the colors and the text. So when I click here on this brush, it's going to take me directly to my settings. So I'm going to change my text here to my text color. I can also change the font itself. Let's say I choose Poppins. You can see here it's been updated. I can change this to semi-bold. I can even make this bold. So it just depends how you want to have this. And then over here, we can also adjust the letter spacing. I can reduce it. I can increase it. So that's how you customize that. I'm going to close out of here. Next, we have this area here. So let's go in. I'm going to click on this gear icon. So this is a blurb, which is showing our date here. So if you want to change the icon or the icon colors, you can just come over here, change the color like that, and you can see right away it has been updated. Now, if you want to change the icon itself, all you have to do is to go back to content, image and icon, and this is where you can choose your icon. So let's say I go with that. You can see it's been updated. And I can also choose solid ones. When I go further down, we also have solid icons. So I can just choose something like that. And you can see that that is updating. Next, let's say I want to change this text. I'm going to click on this paintbrush icon over here. And I can go in now and say, okay, I want to choose Montserrat. So you can see my date there has updated. And if I'm happy with that, I can just save it. But I'm just going to leave it as it is for now. Now, these two are the same. These are both blurbs. So the settings of that are the same. Next, let's take a look here at our main header. I'm going to click here. And again, this is dynamic text. So to customize this, I'm going to click here on this paintbrush icon. It's going to take me to my design tab. So here we can change our font. So let's say I want to go with Montserrat, and you can see it's been updated. I can also play around with the size here, make it smaller. I can also update the color of my heading text. So in your case, just go with the color that is on your color palette. Okay, we'll close out of here. Next, we have our comments here. And again, this is dynamic text. I'm going to click on module settings. So this one here is post content count. This will be dynamically added. So again, to customize it, I'm going to click on this paintbrush icon. It's going to take me to my text settings. Here I can go in now and change the color. I can also make it all caps. I can change the font. I can change the font size and so on. All right, so moving on over here now, we don't really have to make any changes here. This is an image that is going to be added dynamically. So this is going to be your featured image. That's how it ends up here. So I'm going to close out of that. Now, moving on, we have this post content area. So to customize this, in fact, before we talk about this, we have this background color over here. So let's go in and customize it. So I'm going to come over here to background. So if you're not a fan of this color, you can add your own color by just adding your color like that. And that changes your color right away. And you can see here that it's fading down, which is brilliant. If you want to go with that style, you can just add your color right here. Okay, I'm going to close out of that. Now let's take a look at these rounded corners that we have here. So I'm going to go into my row settings, and to change the rounded corners, go into design, border, and here we have 20 pixels. So that's how we have this 20 here all around. Now, if you want to change that, you can just dial it back like that. And you can see now that we have squares. So we don't have the rounded corners anymore. But if you want to bring them in or you want to adjust them, you can just play around with the slide here, or you can just type it in. So in this case, let's go with 9. and you can see it's been updated. But you know what? Let's leave it at a 20 where it was, like that. That's all you need to do here on the rows. Close out of that. Next, we have our post content. So to customize this, you just need to go into the section settings, and this is where our content is. So let's say you want your posts to have a specific font. You can just click on this paintbrush icon and then choose the font over here. So let's say you want to go with Montserrat. As you can see, it's been updated right away, and this is our font. Okay, you can also go into the titles here and customize your titles, change the colors. So you can see heading 2 there has been updated. I can also do the same to heading 1. I can give it a specific color. I know it's quite close to black, so let me do something that you can see. There we go. So you can see here my titles are changing. So this is where you go and customize your post content settings. Okay, moving on. I'm going to scroll further down here, and we have this newsletter section. So our text here can be updated the same way. You just go in and go into your settings and then click here on this paintbrush icon. Now we can see we are customizing heading 2. So you can change your font here, you can change your font color, and so on. Now, this part here is very important because if you don't set this up correctly, this is going to cause you a lot of problems. Now, ideally, you want to collect your emails. So I'm going to come over here to my module settings. So what you need to do is to connect this email opt-in with your email autoresponder. Now we have quite a lot here. So I'm going to go to email account, and by default we have MailChimp. But look what happens when I click on the drop down. We have quite a lot to choose from. So we have MailPoet, we have Sendinblue, we have GetResponse, Fluent CRM, and so on. So choose the one that you've signed up with. And once you've done that, you need to select your list. So perhaps you may need to create your mailing list first before you connect it. So once you create your mailing list and you connect this and hit add, you may be asked to add your API key. Once you add all that, that means that this form will have connected via API with the autoresponder service that you've chosen. Next, we can also add more fields. Let's say you want to collect the first name. You can just toggle this, and this now is showing our first name. But in my case, I'm just going to leave that as it is. Over here, we have the success action. This is the message that is shown when someone hits subscribe. So right now, it just says success, but you can type it all out here, and that's the message that will show. Alternatively, you can redirect the user or the subscriber to a specific page. Ideally, I recommend creating a thank you page. So that thank you page is what they see, but you first need to connect it over here. So if you click on redirect to a custom URL, click on that, and this is where you add the custom URL. So it's your website name / thank you if the name is a thank you page. Okay, so that is what you need to do here to connect this. I'm going to close out of here. Next, we also have this background image here. So let's go in and take a look. So when I go to the background here, we can see that we have this gradient, but over here we can see a bit of the image, and that is because we have transparency over here. This is the image, and this is the transparency setting. So I can play around with the endpoint here if I need to reveal more of the image. So you can now see more of the image. So this is where you can go in and customize that. Now, if you want to change this image and use a different image, you can just delete that and add another image, and it will still have the same settings because you have this gradient. Okay, moving on, we have the posts here. So let's go into our blog settings. So currently we've set our post count to 3, but if you have more, you can just set it up here to show more than 3. Now let's customize this. So first we have our paragraph text, and now the quickest way is just to go in and click on this paintbrush icon. So when I click on that, I can now choose my font. So let's say I want to go with Montserrat. You can now it has gone in and updated it. I can change the color of my font here. I can also go in and do the titles. So again, I can change my title here to Montserrat. And let's say I want to change the background. I can just come over here and add my background. But you know what? I'm just going to leave this as it is. Now, this is also dynamically added. So our featured images will be added there and will show on the related posts. Okay, moving on, we also have this author area. Now here, if you want to change this background color, you can just click here on the section settings, go into background, and you can change it by just going like that. Okay. Now over here, with this is also a blurb. Now the post author, and in this case it's showing as John Doe, is dynamic text. So this will automatically show your name if you've set yourself as the post author, and you also have the author bio, and again this is dynamically shown. Finally, we have the comments area, so you can go in again and customize this completely. The quickest way that I found to customize this is just by highlighting where you want to customize. So for example, let's say you want to customize this form background color. You can just click here on this pencil icon and it is right here. So we can just click on that and right away it is changing. So that is how you change that. Now let's say you want to change this description text. You can just come over here, change the color, change the font. You can do the same with the meta font. So I'm going to choose Montserrat. I can change the color, and that is how we update that. Now we also have a button here. So to customize the button, you can come over, you can click here on button, and we can choose the background color like that. And you can see now that it's been updated. And I can also go in and change the border width. And now it's been updated on both buttons, which is brilliant. Now let's say you also want to change the text color. You can just do that, and our buttons now have been updated. So that is how you go in and customize this template. Now the main reason why you need to do that is because you want to make sure that everything is consistent with the rest of your website. This includes the colors, the fonts, and so on. So go ahead and try it out on your website. So there you have it. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and do follow us on our social media platforms. By doing so, you'll be notified every time we release new tutorials. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.